Terence Crawford's numbers with Jose Benavidez is number one in fight sports in terms of viewership ratings. Stay tuned. Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working now. This just in, Terence Crawford, he sets a new milestone for himself and for the year. Terence Crawford versus Jose Benavidez is the number one in combat sports on any network, in boxing or MMA, non-pay-per-view. And this is coming from multiple sources, including Yahoo Sports. Kevin Iole of Yahoo Sports says, amazing, the Crawford-Benavidez fight is number one in combat sports, boxing or MMA on either broadcast or cable. For the year with a peak of 2.708 million, so 2.7 and change million. UFC on Fox, Emmett Stevens did 2.038, that's on Fox. And Poirier versus Gathy did 2.023. Wilder versus Luis Ortiz was 1.81 million peak. So, he did higher than all of those considerably. So this is a good look, real good look for Terence Crawford, for his brand, for his star power, also for Top Rank. They made a wise decision. You see HBO Boxing is going out of business. Meanwhile, Top Rank and their card is setting, sports records for the viewership, and they still got the Lomachenko-Pedraza fight, and Lomachenko versus Jorge Linares I think did good. So I was at the fight, Crawford-Benavidez. Shout out to Top Rank. I enjoyed my seats, had a great time. The crowd was lit, very energetic crowd. If you've been to a Crawford fight in Omaha, you'll know why Top Rank keeps staging them there, because I've been to a couple Omaha cards of Terence Crawford, and I also went to when he fought in Lincoln at the Pinnacle Bank Arena against Julius Ndongo. And I want to say, out of the ones I've been to, I didn't go to the Gamboa fight though, that would have been a great one. But out of the ones I've been to, all the Crawford fights where he was fighting in his home state, I've also covered Crawford in Vegas also when he fought Victor Postal. But out of the fights that I've been to of Terence Crawford at home, this was probably the most cracking, like in terms of fight week, crowd, energy, electricity, and I believe it set an attendance record. So Terence Crawford certainly doing well for himself and acquitting himself nicely as a champion and also a new player at welterweight. So I want to send a huge congratulations to Terence Crawford, and this just makes things like the Errol Spence fight in the future that much bigger. People already want to see it. It's already a great fight, and with the numbers to support this, this is certainly a pay-per-view affair. Errol Spence still has, you guys got to keep in mind, when he fought Lyndon Bundu, it came on after the Olympics, so he had 6 million people tune into that fight, and that was an impressive knockout to make people familiar with the Errol Spence brand. So I have no doubt in my mind, by the time that Terence Crawford and Errol Spence fight on pay-per-view, it will be properly built. I think they should handle, I think Crawford might fight Mean Machine or whoever. Errol Spence got called out by Luis Collazo, try to unify with Sean Porter. I want to see them, like almost like a Super 6 style tournament. And if they're the last two standing at welterweight, then I want to see them face, so it's the absolute best and the absolute best, and it's worth all the marbles. That's my thing. But people are penalizing Crawford and Spence, and I'm going to explain that. They're penalizing them because they're both about it. They're both about that life. Whereas other guys like Keith Thurman, he had a nice little run, 2 belts, and he seems almost content. He almost seems content with where he's at in life and, married life and stuff like that. He hasn't defended his WBA title in 2 years, or I don't even know when he did. And he had to give up his WBC belt. Sean Porter is now the owner of that piece of hardware, and it's like almost like the Black Murderers Road, because other people won't step up. We may get this fight almost prematurely, when it could be for all the marbles, like I said, Super 6 style, like a tournament with all these welterweights. But if they don't step up and fight, then the fans are going to still be clamoring. And since they both have the same type of MO in terms of, they don't fight the same, but they have the same type of personality as far as competitors. So, we may end up getting this fight. Terence Crawford also talked about his numbers, and he quoted the Yahoo Sports tweet that I put out. This is what Crawford had to say in his caption. Men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. I want to give a big shout out to everyone that was at the fight to see it live, and the ones who tune in to watch Crawford Benavidez on ESPN. All the Team Crawford supporters and the haters, we number one. These are great numbers, 3 million on network TV. And to all the people who say boxing is dead, they keep saying that, UFC's taking over. Well, Terence Crawford just demolished Jeremy Stevens and these other fights. There's nothing against the UFC, but stop saying boxing is dead. It just sounds stupid. Like, it's like you see someone breathing and walking and checking the mail, and you keep saying that person is dead. And like, that's like a paramedic saying, they're pronounced dead. And then the person's getting up, going to the gym every single day, clocking in for work, and you steadily hear a paramedic, EMT or some shit, talking about they're dead. Boxing's far from dead. And with the new Al Heyman deal with Fox and also Showtime, and then Top Ranks deal with ESPN, we're getting boxing front, right, and center. And the reason I use them is because I think they probably put on the most compelling matches in general consistently, and try to build their cards a bit better, not just pay-per-view everything. But boxing's in a good spot. Shout out to Terence Crawford. These are very good numbers. I knew it was going to get a good rating. And it goes to show you, too, as far as the fighters could do a bit more to sell the fight, because Terence Crawford is normally, he's like a snake or something. Not like snake as a person, but in terms of if you get close, then you're going to hear that rattle. If you poke a snake with a stick, then it's going to, strike you. It's just what it is. And that's how Terence Crawford's MO is. He's when he's unprovoking, he's just chill, family man, not too much. But if you egg him on, then that's where you get to see him switch on that switch with the competitive streak. And that's what Jose Benavidez did. So shout out to Jose Benavidez for being a game player and kind of being, the villain role or antagonist, saying I'm gonna knock him out in front of his crowd, just being an Ivan Drago type of personality, a tall, menacing guy who was confident and was coming to hurt Crawford, because I think all this aided and helped the numbers. Jose Benavidez walking up, not afraid, unbothered, and pushing Terence Crawford, and then Crawford taking a swing at him. All that stuff. A lot of people say this is why it's funny. Know who you get your boxing from. New media. I try to give you guys. I like it. I told you I like all that WWE stuff. Wilder, Fury. People. This is fake. Wilder, Fury is fake. But guess what? They sold out 1 million tickets in 25 minutes. So who gives a fuck? What you talking about? Same thing with Terence Crawford. People are like, that punch he missed, that looks so staged. Oh, well, he's doing the numbers, so he gets to reap the benefits for putting on a show with Jose Benavidez, despite what you're talking about, and that's how I feel. I feel like when these fighters start showing a little bit more that competitive edge and showmanship, you usually see the numbers go up if it's already a good fight to begin with, i.e. Mayweather, McGregor, having a press tour. I think Wilder Fury will do well. I will say, speaking of Wilder Ortiz number was cited about Wilder Ortiz did 1.81 million. I'm still impressed with that, based on the fact that Showtime has far less subscribers than ESPN. So that is still a very strong number considering the subscriber base. ESPN is on free TV. It's not a premium network, and ESPN has more, they're in more homes than Showtime. So I still think the Luis Ortiz Wilder numbers were a feat. We'll see what Wilder Fury does. But, you know, back to Terence Crawford. I had a hell of a time. I can't wait for his next fight. And his star power is rising. And he's kind of proof that you don't have to show your ass every single time. Like Crawford, certain guys pull it out of him where you see the gamesmanship and the shit talking, but he doesn't do it every single out. Like every person he fights, it's not that. Sometimes the press conference, and I respect that, you know, because he's not abusing it and making it look like it's a gimmick. I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe, but some people like rappers, we'll say rappers, they'll come out with the gimmick and then it's like overused. So it's like you're just doing it for shock value. I think Crawford's just being himself, and then if you push him, provoke him, then that's when you see the competitive streak come out. But nonetheless, I'm gonna wrap this up. Very good numbers. Shout out to ESPN Top Ranked, Terence Crawford, Jose Benavidez, and everybody involved. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Those are the numbers, Boxingego numbers style. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego. Signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.